wabula mukamolina amani nango mkude wa amani dolusine buzobanzani zani aibambe wabula mukamolina amani yamawe nango mkude wa amani aibambe wabula mukamolina amani yamawe nango mkude wa amani weba kutunga bafeli ogezanga nosongako otakugwa mutakisi machado wabula mukamolina amani nango mkude wa amani dolusine buzobanzani zani aibambe wabula mukamolina amani yamawe nango mkude wa amani aibambe wabula mukamolina amani yamawe nango mkude wa amani weba kutunga bafeli.
Okay, August 14th of 2026. I'm gonna keep this video fairly short. I don't like to use the word called depressed. Never mind dwell on it. You know? You gotta pull yourself up by your bootstraps, pick a chore, the big chore, even if it's just a little chore for the day. Right? The one, the chore at the top of the list, whether it's a big chore or a little chore, because sometimes those little chores can take a day or two or three, where you can take on a big chore and get it done pretty much in a day, but you really gotta give it your all, depending on how big that chore is, okay? So, with that said, I'm usually pretty good at picking chores, I suppose you could say. Here, let me just put this on me for a minute, okay? Because I'm pretty blue right now, people. Oh, yeah, I've been blue for a few days, okay? I don't want to say I'm feeling shortchanged in life, but that's kind of like what it is. The title of this video is, Who is the Real Social Worker? Because clearly part of my quote-unquote depression is centered around, I suppose, social workers, right? Because, it goes back to that default. They didn't treat Sierra like they treat me. And I'm the one that does 99% of the work. Back in those days, 99% of the work. Back in these days, 99% of the work. Okay? So, for somebody that works as hard as I do, it doesn't make any sense where I'm basically being, I don't want to say it, but it's true, gang stalked, okay, and basically harassed. Right up until I just can't see that well, I suppose, because that's the biggest common denominator when it comes to keeping the quote-unquote file open under routine monthly visits, which I personally find to be very psychologically damaging, in part because of what they wrote in order to be able to keep their file open. Right? You know what I'm saying? And, hey, what did I say? Right? So I have to navigate around that crap, okay? In terms of being a human being, not a bloody AI, whatever you want to call it, robot, where, I live the perfect fucking sorry boo-boo life here. I'm the perfect star in the universe when it comes to stars, shining bright and strong and confident and successful and and got my act together and I'm the star of all stars here, right? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, like the other day, I had somebody say, oh, you know, Judy, I really admire your work ethics. I said, work ethics? Geez, you know, those are pretty powerful words. You know, I do appreciate you actually acknowledging that, because for as much as I don't hear it from the people that want to, I don't know, it's some of it's fabricated, like a story, right? You're just faking the funk. You're just telling lies, white lies, or you're twisting the truth, right? You know what I'm saying? Sure, flies in the house. Well, maybe because in November I had my backyard flooded with freaking sewage and it was in the ground, because definitely the flies are out there, because when I had that little freaking picnic there, or barbecue or whatever with my grandkids and yada yada, the flies were out there outside in the back with a vengeance. There's only one reason they're out there, people. Okay? And it's not like the quote-unquote social worker doesn't know what happened. And to expect me to always have to live in an environment where there are 2 doors to get out of in order to have my grandson is, I don't want to say asinine, but it's very limiting. Is there such a word as limiting? No, there isn't. Limiting. It's very limiting. Just limit and then ing. Limit ing. Limit ing. Limit ing. Lady Jane, I'm actually doing this video based on what I'm going to record after this, because I am so sad that it's just a chore to get up and stick with that daily grind, okay? Because for my life to come to where it's at right now, where I'm being told that it doesn't matter where Andre goes or where I go in Canada after they take Amari, because that's their business, that's their job, that's their ministry, quote-unquote, portfolio. That's their mandate. Where does that leave me and my life of 64 years in a so-called democratic country that is supposed to have I don't know, civil I don't know how to explain it, like civil I gotta get past the word civil, because it's not freaking civil. There's nothing civil about this country. So much so that, you know, I wasn't going to make any videos because I want to make a few videos, but I don't know if I can do it because I couldn't see the freaking editor, man. I tried to do something today on this computer here, and I took it to exposure, and honest to God, I couldn't see the little, you know, things to move to change the exposure no matter what pair of glasses I had on. And I'm like, no. I gotta put it out there before I'm taken out, because that's what's happening here. I'm being taken out. Okay? I live in a country where they want to sign up poor people, street homeless people, disabled people, the elderly, the sick, the impoverished, which is poor, right? Anybody that is deemed undesirable and nothing more than a drain on the quote-unquote flourishing economy. Oh, yeah. That's the only way you can fit in, is if it's flourishing. If you're flourishing, that is. And then they can keep with the, well, we're Canada. Our economy's Wonderful. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. The less wonderful it becomes, the more subject you become targeted to have your life taken away from you, literally, by any means necessary, by the quote-unquote freaking do-gooders that get paid by the taxpayers to basically destroy families, really, when you think about it, okay? Because anything that's going on in my life doesn't feel like it's let me help you. It's let me help you get to your destination faster, because when you get there, we don't care where you go. And that applies to Andre too, but oh, don't worry, he falls under a different portfolio, and we'll look after him until he's 19 years old. Yeah. Sure you will. No. What will happen is he'll be triggered through the handlers in the community to be something that he was molded to be through the fracturing of the brain when he went into the system when he was 28 months old and quote-unquote wrongfully apprehended, illegally apprehended, and put through 15 months of whatever. Didn't do him any favors, and it sure in the hell didn't do any favors for my family. Yeah. So, I was reading some comments every now and then on YouTube. I can't remember what the subject was. Probably has something to do with the economy and how people can't afford their groceries and they're losing their housing because, you know, of the monopoly that's going on, because it's all about AI now taking over and getting rid of probably a good 80% to 90% of the global population. Let's face it. Oh, yeah. So this editor, okay, that's what I wanted to work on. I'm digging up some old videos here, and I'm going to put it to Paint. Yeah, copy and paste onto Paint. I'm going to expand, and I'm going to prove to you that there are things out there that walk among us that are portrayed as a human being when in fact they're not. And they have motherboards in their hair and gaping god-awful something, if you want to consider it to be an eye under the skin. Don't worry about what's on the outside of the face. Think about what's under and inside, okay, of the face. Because people they don't see it. They take things for face value. They're easily to be manipulated. Right? Easier to be controlled. So is payback a bitch? Is this why I'm being whatever the situation is? Because as it is, I think that if it got real bad, I think this, whoever is the higher ups, right, that, you know, are just gloating, I suppose, you know, just being, I don't know what, people, like, I don't know, like, I worked way too freaking hard to be ran into the ground. And that's how I feel it's happening, like that way. If I don't get it from the landlords, get outside, hurry up, do this, do that, yeah. I get it from now this ministry. Yeah. And we already know what the end result is. Once they pluck out Amari, that's it. They wash their hands and they go and they seek out another family. Because if they didn't have another family, they'd have no reason to exist. And that's why it becomes child trafficking. That's what developed countries bring. Child trafficking. So with that said, I sent Lady Jane some money. Yeah. Because I know that there are children out there that are appreciative more than anything about what little bit that they get from what I send to Lady Jane, and then she forwards it through buying food and homeschool supplies and that or whatever to help the family, the children, families, or just community in general, right? And Lady Jane put a little video up, and the kids are dancing. And she said, homeschooling is helping a lot. Because when I sent her that money, I said, look, here's $150 for some food and $50 for homeschooling. And the whole time I'm sending her this money, I'm feeling like a heel. Right? Because, you know, I got the creditors calling me, harassing me, coming to my door when it's illegal for them to be coming to my door, which is another form of gang stalking. Okay? And you can blame the plumbers for that one, because if the basement wouldn't have been flooded out like the way it was flooded out, because that there is no debate, but that's still up for debate, I wouldn't be here holding down all the bills, including full rent, which is $23.50. Okay? While my government is conspiring to turn off the lights in this house. Or, if not turn them off, turn off probably a good 3/4 of them. Just so I can continue, I suppose, to continue paying the rent, the hydro, never mind gas. Right now, gas bill is low, but come winter, it's $300-400 a month. Yeah. So, will I be able to send Lady Jane $200 in December or January? It's hard to say. Will I even be in this house? More than likely, unless something really goes wrong. Because you know how those gang stalkers work. It's one and another one and another one and another one. Speaking of gang stalkers, this eye doctor that I have, he wants to operate on this eye. Oh my God. He wants to put in another tube. I'm like, because apparently this one supposedly is working. Because when I went to see him, it was 17%. Yeah, well, 17% PSI. Whatever. It doesn't mean shit. Because my eyesight got worse. And you know it because I did your little testy thing there on your machine and I couldn't even see the freaking balloon. So what the hell is that telling you? Easy to say, oh well, it's the residue of the high pressure that you had before the surgery. And it's just the cells, the octave nerves are still dying off. Yeah, okay, whatever. He wants to put a tube into this one. And I can tell you right now, I can't really touch this eyelid. You know when you get tired or something and you want to just rub your eye, right? I can do this one. This one? No way. There's something underneath there. I can feel it. And it irritates me sometimes. And when he comes to look at my eye, he goes, you know, he just does it. Yeah, right, because you know it's not that great. So why you want to, well, you know, we wanted to spare a wheel so that you can distinguish between night and day. What, this one's going to go completely blank when this is the only one that gets me through? And this one here is going to tell me when it's daylight or nighttime? Yeah, okay. Whatever. I don't want to get it done. I'm scared. Because honestly, I'm getting personally tired of being injured. Through a world-class freaking healthcare system that doesn't like to be held to account to absolutely nothing. I'm just saying. But that's for another day. I've been rocking with this eye for what, 3 years? The pressure has been the same pretty much the whole time. It fluctuates from 29 to 40, 45, in around that range. Usually it's closer to the 40s. It's been like that forever. Okay? I can still see a little bit. Whatever. So, what difference does it make? So yeah, I'm feeling like a heel for not dropping the ball on basically children, really, that really don't have much in their life. Right? Well, out here, you know, everybody's on their own mission. And I don't know. They don't want to help, and they don't want you to help. And they find excuses, whether it's for themselves. I don't want to help because blah, 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 blah. Well, you shouldn't do it because of yeah. Yeah, right. So anyway, this is a stupid video. But I'm having it rough right now. Really, really rough, because it's not fair that I should have to work so hard as I have been for years, continue to work as hard as I do, and live in fear. Yeah, live in fear, and always second guessing. Right? In terms of, it's not enough, I'm not doing enough, it's not good enough, right? It's just an accident waiting to happen because you missed something, right? Right? It doesn't matter what happens where, you know, it alters your life and then you have to work around it to either fix it or adapt to it or what. None of that matters. Right? Because you live in a rigid, one lane, don't stray off the line, never mind the path. You have to walk the line. Think of COVID when they were making people stand 6 feet apart and you all walked in one line with people going that way, right? As if you were driving cars on a sidewalk with your feet, right? Or you're standing in line to pay for something, you know, like, just, like, that's my life. And I don't think it's fair. But I have no choice, because I just don't. So when I see this, you know, I get scared for the kids, because I'm scared for my own life here in Canada. Yeah. Now, if I die, that's a different thing, right? It's completely different. I don't know what these kids are going to do. Lady Jane, she's just going to have to hold down the fort as best as she can, right? And hopefully somebody will step up and help her more. Because the way things are going, from what I can see, there's not a lot of people helping her, and I don't get it. Like, I just, outside of, that's how negligent a lot of human beings are. Right? You know? Just, I don't know. So anyway, I'm happy for the kids. And I'm happy for the parents and the caregivers, just anybody that's involved. Now, of course, you can see better than me. Okay? I don't know if I'm going to put this up because I don't even know what I was trying to say. Outside of, I've been pretty moody, and I've been trying to just I was reading, I was going to say, it's one of those things where you just keep yourself occupied. Alright, when in doubt, keep yourself occupied.
Kutuma bafeli ogeza ngano songako oja kugwa mutakisima shadow wabula mukamolina amani nango mfude wa amani nolusine buzo banzani zani aibambe wabula mukamolina amani yamawe nango mfude wa amani aibambe wabula mukamolina amani
Lady Jane, your classroom got bigger. Now, I'm starting to cry again here because this is how backwards my world is. Across the street, we know, right? What's going on over there. You can't say I didn't try, Lady Jane. I called an annual general meeting. I invested over $200 and some odd into meals. I bought paper plates, paper cups, like plastic cups or whatever. You know, the disposable silverware, napkins, right? I bought the food, you know. I cooked for like 3 days, okay? People owe me $5, right? As they're trying to convince me that they're promoting the meal because they're hungry and they could smell it with the door open across the street. Only one person is giving me the $5 that they owe me. I'm just saying, right? Everybody else forgot. Well, we knew that was going to happen. And last night, apparently some woman, Andre was saying she was a black woman. I don't know who it could have been. I was sleeping. I didn't even want to get up and look. Because honestly, I'm kind of at the end of my rope with it. Because, you know, it's not like I haven't tried to connect with those people next door, right? And, you know, a lot of these people that go next door actually come from Uganda, from the Kampala area. So, you know, why they wouldn't either try and be helpful with the foundation in general, just in light of being in Canada, you know, when opportunity comes knocking, you know, blah, 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 versus just doing the same old okie dokie, basically, which, I don't know, it costs me more money to try and encourage people to come together for multiple different reasons, whether for Canada or outreach to Africa, okay? With Uganda being one of the countries, I'm just saying, it doesn't have to be the only country, but there's no motivation. Instead, what I get is I wake up in the morning and Andre was, you know, Nana, there was some black woman out there, because he woke me up. He said, Nana, they're starting to fight, you know, and I'm like, ugh, because it's so many times, that's all it is, right? You know, you've seen my videos, right? Like, you know, what's the point, right? You know, whatever, like, some people just like to be argumentative and fight and act like, I don't know, like, and then they get those native women in there and they're mean. Only one in there is nice and friendly, but the rest of them, they're scowling at you and they're posturing, and if they're not straight out freaking fucking trying to attack you and threatening you, and, and or they just start, the Africans just start fighting and acting stupid, and and for what? For what? You're wasting your life. And like, so I'm at the point where I think I'm thinking that they're laughing at me. Yeah. Because they're sure in hell not stepping up to the plate to help. In the context that I want help when it comes to, taking life more serious and doing a Malcolm X and working on school meal programs, homeschool programs, community programs, any kind of programs, I don't care. But better than waking up in the morning to find out that some crazy person was threatening James to murder him, set his house on fire, and all this stupid shit. And hollering and screaming for 2 hours. I didn't hear a damn thing. I slept through it all because I work. Right? You know what I'm saying? And then I fall asleep and then get up and start working again. And that's pretty much basically what it is. Sometimes I get a lot more done, sometimes I don't. It depends. The point is, like, and so, yeah, I'm happy for the kids. Yeah. I'm just sad that I don't know how long I'll be able to continue to help. Because the society that I live in is very apathetic, extremely. I don't care if it's from a freaking public union sector worker freaking situation. Let me help you. I don't care where you go after we take what we want and you can just... Yeah. Well, are you going to put Andre in foster care? Oh no, just have him go to Mark Haynes or Tisha's. So what, you going to leave me sitting in this house by myself so the freaking vultures can swarm in and take me out finally? Yeah, right. You right? How is that a quality of living? Right? Waiting for the next smear campaign. Right? Because I missed a spot. Right? Right? Doesn't matter where the spot is. I missed it. Okay. So anyway, they're dancing. The group looks like it's getting bigger. More kids. It makes me think of Gateway Place when I used to work out in the courtyard with the kids. Parents would come trickle out here and there. And my daughters, Shmay was alive and Sierra was alive, and even though we were stuffed into a 3-bedroom apartment and I had all 5 kids with me and Uncle John, where was social workers then? Huh? Really? That was 7 people in a 3-bedroom apartment. Okay. Did they care? No. Right? Well, yeah. Uncle John, me, and my 5 kids. Yeah, 7 of us. And I went out in the courtyard and I'd work with the refugee families from Lebanon, Tanzania, Sudan, Togo, places like that, right? And anybody else that lived there that wanted to come out. And this is what it reminds me of, and it makes me want to cry. Because, for me, it's like a slap in the face. In terms of for as hard as I tried, I don't think I really made any kind of a difference, because I just can't get over the hump. I couldn't do it with white people, couldn't do it with Chinese people, couldn't do it with Native people, couldn't do it with Indian people, whether they were Hindus, Punjabis, or those kind of people, brown people. Couldn't do it with the freaking Muslims, right? Like anybody else. Christians, Punjabis, Muslims, from the Arabic countries, right? Those kind of Muslims. And now that I'm kind of been hanging out with, I couldn't do it with the Jamaicans. Even though Papa Riley was a Jamaican, our DJ, and DJ Steve. But at the end of the day, even the Jamaicans with their Caribbean festivals and that stupid crap. Right? Well, I can't even do it with the Africans. I could do it with the kids, but I can't do it with the Africans, the adults. Yeah. Because it's just like everybody else out here. They're on their own missions. When I watch these videos and I teleport into the environment, I just feel that I know humans are humans are humans, yada yada yada, but I just feel that I just feel that they have a stronger sense of community and family where Lady Jane is at than where I'm at. Yeah. And that's why I have to just stay occupied and remind myself, just stay occupied. And I do that by picking usually a chore, whether a big chore or a little chore. And I work on it throughout the day on top of all the other chores, dishes, laundry, yada 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 yada, cooking, more dishes. So I'm glad homeschooling is working. I knew it would. Yeah. I knew it would.
Wabula mukamolina